Vargas Jr.
Yeah.
That was deep what you said about accountability, and that's very important. I really resonated with that because at one point in my life, I decided to be the victim. At a young age, I began getting into trouble, and I allowed the troubles to be the important part of my life as opposed to finding solutions. Joining a gang at an early age was not a snap in a moment type of thing, but instead it was gradual. As I began to lose my identity and began putting the identity of the 4 blocks around me as the forefront of my life. I began to lose my identity and the roots of my family and placed it in the culture that was happening on the streets. Leading to that, I ended up being incarcerated for gang-related homicide and spent 12 years in prison. I was not the shooter, but I was as guilty as the shooter was because I was there. I did not stop it. If anything, I probably encouraged it. And it's very important to understand that sometimes we make decisions out of the spur moment, not understanding what the repercussions are behind that. While in prison, I entered into survival mode. And survival mode means that you're going to try everything in your power to stay alive, even if that means continuing to exhibit negative behavior. You no longer have control over yourself. Now your environment has control over you. That happens in the streets every day. We allow the streets to take control over ourselves. Luckily, I had a group of people that supported me. My family was always there for me. And I do come from a good background where at one point church was mandatory in the house and I even was an altar boy. But how does an altar boy go from attending church and doing good things to ending up in prison? Again, we fall into that victim role. We see the problems that we're getting into. We focus on those problems instead of knowing that we have the power to say stop every morning. We have the power to say, today I'm going to do good. Today I'm going to do my homework. Today I'm going to go to school. Today I'm not going to disrespect somebody. Today I'm going to be different than what I have been because that's what's going to bring me a good life. When I was in there, I also understood that education was so important in order for me to stay out once I got out. And so when I was in there, I got 2 associate degrees, and when I got out, I went directly to the university, enrolled, and I obtained my bachelor's and my master's at Roosevelt University. While doing that, I wanted to give back. I carried the guilt of what happened that night. In a split second, how my life turned around, how a wrong decision sent me down the wrong path. And so I started dedicating myself in a movement of social justice and trying to address the problems of poverty, the problems of the lack of employment, trying to encourage economic development, trying to encourage families staying together, working together. See, I did not have my father there, and I used that in the victim role. When in actuality, I know that many of us may not have a father or a mother in our lives, but that's not an excuse for us to go down the wrong path. Because it's about you as an individual and what your take is in society. See, I was focused on this group right here in these 4 blocks, and instead of focusing on what really matters, which is the society that we live on, and what my role as an individual is right here in our society. What is my role here in our society? My role here in our society is to do everything in my power for me to be okay. Because if I'm okay, if I'm living a good life, if I have a good job, if I have a good education, then I'm contributing to our society. How do I contribute? Well, because I'm earning money, so I'm going to the store and I'm buying stuff. And I'm buying stuff, of course I'm paying taxes. And when I'm paying taxes, those monies go towards structural, fixing the structure of cities or helping those people that have not made it as far as I have with resources so that they can be okay. I engaged in social services because it was dear to me, because at that point, when I was going in the wrong path, I did not have anybody coming, taking me to a group like this, to a program like this, which by the way is fantastic, and having people come and talk to me about how much power I have over myself to make a difference in my life and in other people's lives. And I know it's very difficult walking alone. But walking alone is what sets you as an individual with your qualities, with your way of doing things out here, which is the makeup of the melting pot that our society is. Later on in life, I also have something else to fight for along with myself, which is my children. So I need to make sure that they also understand that they are young, they don't know a lot, they're going to make mistakes, but we can rectify it by working together. It was very difficult in there because as I'm walking down the gallery, the first day I get to the maximum security prison, I'm realizing with a mattress on my shoulder and a bag in my hand with 3 articles of clothing that was given to me by the Department of Corrections, that you cannot escape rules. You may think that out here in society, as a young man or woman, you don't have to abide by rules, but rules have been established for a reason, and that's to maintain order and to avoid chaos. And when I was out here as a youngster, I was running away from rules. What do you mean I gotta go to school in the morning? What do you mean I gotta do my homework? What do you mean I gotta listen to my elders? What do you mean I gotta come in on curfew? Why are these rules here? Why should I do that? Why should I care? Running away from all of those rules led me to an environment in which they told me when to go to the bathroom, when to eat, when to go to the yard, when to go to school, under their rules. There's no escaping those. Then I realized, if I can cope with these rules right here, it should be fairly easy for me to cope with the rules that society has laid out for us to be able to coexist with each other in a positive and good-natured way. There is a way out. We oftentimes don't take that route because it's easier not to. It's easier for me to avoid doing my homework. I don't have to do it. I go play video games. It's easier for me to be on the streets because at home mom is going to tell us what to do or dad is going to tell us what to do. Being on the streets, nobody tells me what to do. I'm riding on my own. I'm with my boys or my girls. Everything that you're being told by your parents and your teachers, your community leaders, is not to hurt you. It's not to come down on you. Nobody has it out for you. I don't care what race, color, creed, whatever it is. There is no such thing in here as limitations. Only you put those things in. Even I, as an adult, face myself sometimes with those demons. And I have to tell myself, wait, that's not reality. That's what I'm creating in my mind. And I have to reprogram myself right there on that moment and tell myself, wait, Israel, because it's not a reality, why don't you really look at what the grassroots of the problem is? Why don't you look inside? Look inside of you. Why are you feeling like that? Why are you behaving like that? And then modify the behavior and the thought process to be able to do the right thing. Do you know how powerful you are? Do you understand the power that you have in your hands? to do such great things and make so many things happen in your life. I often tell the kids, if you and I go to an alderman office to talk to the alderman about an issue, and I go into the office first, and I say, Alderman, I have an issue in my neighborhood. And then you go in there and you say, Alderman, I have an issue in my neighborhood. Who do you think he or she's going to listen to? To you. You are the next generation. They want to make sure that you're okay. So they're going to address the problem. I'm an old man already. You're going to be the next voters. They want to stay in office. That's the power that you have. Taking accountability for yourself means that you're not walking with a group of people. It's for yourself, for you. Understanding that you need to take care of yourself because nobody else is going to do it. And as I move along in my career, continuing to talk to youth, I continue to learn more and more about where I was and about where you're at and about where you're going. There's going to come a point in your life in which your name is going to be called to stand up and be accountable for something, whether it is at work, or whether it is with your family, or whether it is with your society. When you step up, you will understand right there on the spot how much power you have. The power for yourself, of yourself. While I was in there, I also understood that not only that you cannot escape rules, but that you can use those rules to help you be accountable in your own programming of your brain. Something as simple as you're having an issue with a class. I know that my son doesn't like social studies. He hates it. And he having a little bit of a difficulty with math himself. And we continue to work on it by him making the decision and being accountable to put some time in to learning, to dedicate time to study. And at first he's not going to see the fruit of his labor, but he eventually will see it in steps. When his grades increases on social studies, when he eventually gets his diploma and graduates, when he goes to college, when he gets a good career, steps that are going to increase every time your self-esteem is going to increase how you value yourself. It's going to help you understand how much power you have over yourself. Once you understand that you're accountable for yourself and you have control of it, then you can begin to be accountable for your environment. And you do that through civic engagement. I oftentimes go to schools and talk to youth about when's the last time you volunteered. And I'm not telling you to volunteer every day. I'm not telling you to volunteer every month. I'm telling you, volunteer at least once a year. And don't do it because the school is telling you. Do it because you know that that's going to help so many people. One act of goodness is going to create a wave of goodness for other people. And that's going to help you in the future, because I've read many resumes when I'm hiring people, and I got people coming with degrees from everywhere, but I'm only looking for those people who have put the time to do a selfless act as a volunteer or community service. Those are the people that I want in my company. Those are the people that I want working for me, because they show compassion, they show responsibility, they show commitment, and they show that they want to do good for others. When you're networking, it's very important also, the accountability you have there to yourself, to get to know the people you're networking with, not negative people, but positive people. That's going to bring you a lot of help in the future as well. Getting mentors. Look for somebody If not at home, somebody outside the home that's positive, that's good, that's going to give you some mentorship. I personally mentor a couple of kids throughout the city of Chicago and many adults. And I have a mentor myself. My mentor even paid $60,000 for my college education. Somebody that doesn't know me, understood where I was going in life, believed in me, and helped me through it in times of need. Somebody that's not even my race. He's not even Puerto Rican. He's actually white. He's a white old man. My best friend, my mentor. And up to this day, we meet once a month to have coffee and to talk about life. And where am I going next? He doesn't have to worry about where he's going next. He's rich. All the money in the world. But he's taking the time to sit down with me and guide me. Because even at my age, I still need guidance. And I'm very lucky to have people to support me and help me, my family. My friend circle is very small, very small. Because it's not about quantity, it's about quality. Because when stuff goes down, you're really going to know who's your friend. You're really going to know who's going to be there for you. Quality. You bring quality into your life, you live a good life. After spending 12 years and 9 months in prison, I came to society just like I left. Very ignorant, because I got locked up at the age of 19. I barely knew English, and I entered into these environments with thousands of men of all kinds of places, with all kinds of backgrounds, from doctors and attorneys to serial killers and gangsters. And I had to learn how to survive in an environment like that amongst all of these people. I had to learn how to not let people take advantage of me in an environment like that. And it was very hard. And that created some mental conditions that up to this day continues to be worked on. What's good about you right now is that your mind is free of that. Your mind did not have to experience that. So you have not been put in a position that you have to go into survival mode yet. And it's up to you to not go into that position in the future. Any questions? Please.
Okay, so 19 you go to prison. So before that, I'm assuming you were in high school.
That's correct.
How was your life in high school or with your family during that time period? Because I'm sure that when you go into prison, you start reflecting what was there before you got in, and you could talk about that.
Sure. So, I was a good student when I made it to school. We actually landed here in Pilsen in 1983 and went to Benito Juarez. And what I did was, I started losing my family identity, and started putting my identity with this group of kids in the school, and they like to ditch school, and so I ditched with them. It was crazy because all we did was go downtown, go in a building, go to the top of the building in an elevator, come down, and then come back. That was fun. I lost my identity through that time. And when I got in, I understood that back in the days, we used to be very proud of our last names. The Vargases, Munoz, and Perez. And we have lost that in our society. Be proud of the Washington family. Be proud of the Cortez family. Be proud of your background, your last name. Because that's your legacy that you're going to carry on to your child. And your child to his child or her child. Do not lose your identity. Go ahead.
How did you come to be the mentor you still have today?
So networking through a variety of positive environments through social services I met the founder of Inspiration Corporation, who believed in me, and she introduced me to Jim Mabry, who became my mentor. Networking. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fantastic day.
Yeah, man, this guy, I remember going to Cook County, going to